not everyone is born out of love, you know? Some people are born out of hate.
I truly believe this, and I'm glad that he mentioned this up because during my awakening, when I was doing self-reflection, because when you first become awakened, you're going to do a lot of self-reflection. You're going to dwell on your past. You're going to dwell on your choices. You're going to dwell on a lot of things that you've done. And this is a part of your awakening when you're going to feel real sorry for yourself. You're going to feel like shit. You're going to feel like I could have done this a long time ago. You're going to feel, that's why I say when you first start your journey of awakening, and the beginning is the most hardest part. In the beginning, during your spiritual journey, your spiritual awakening, the beginning is the most toughest because you're going to feel like absolutely shit. You're going to feel like not only shit, but you're going to have nothing but self-regret. You're going to start seeing things. You're going to start recognizing things. You're going to start hearing things you ain't never heard. The beginning of anybody's spiritual awakening, when they begin to open up their third eye, is going to be a MF. You hear me? And the main thing when you first start your spiritual journey is self-reflection. And when you go through that, it's going to make you feel like crap because you're going to feel like, damn, if I would have did this shit a long time ago, I wouldn't have experienced none of that. You're going to go through it. You're going to have nothing but regrets. It's going to be bad because I went through it. And it's an emotional roller coaster. And I went through that for months. So don't think that you're going to go through it a day or two. You're going to go through it 3 months. The more you learn about yourself, it's going to make you feel worse. So, just know that will happen to you and know that it eventually is going to go away. Cause the more deep you go into your spiritual journey, you're going to be going through an adventure. So you're going to be learning things about yourself, the world, your family, the environment, the highs, the lows, the spiritual, the physical, the illusion. You're going to be learning about a lot of things. But one thing that you need to focus on during your spiritual journey is the main thing you need to focus on is getting those questions answered that you always ask. This is the reason why now that all of my questions that I have ever got, that I ever asked in my whole entire life, all of those questions is now answered. So now that all of my questions, all of my spiritual questions that I had all my life is now finally answered, I don't have to no longer go deep in the rabbit hole. I don't no longer have to learn about a lot of things anymore because all of my questions that I needed to fulfill me and my spiritual journey, even before I became spiritual, all of those questions is now answered because I now know who I am spiritually. I now know where I am. I know why I am here. I know why I look this way. I know why I was born this way. I know why I got the family that I have. I know why my life was so crazy. I know why I live a traumatic experience. And I know who my true source is. So now that I got the question that I have been asking my whole entire life, even before I knew what none of this was all about, I feel complete now. So now that I feel complete during my spiritual journey, and I can just stop. Like, honestly, where I'm at in my spiritual journey, I can just stop and don't ever have to deep dive in the rabbit hole or go deep or take I don't have to do that anymore because all the questions that I had is now fulfilled. So any journey or that I go through or any education that I want to learn, it's because I want to learn that. But I just wanted to give y'all a heads up on that because I always tell people when you go through your first journey of awakening, of spiritual awakening, it is going to be tough. But anyway, this is one of the things that I learned what he is talking about. This is one of the things that I learned through my spiritual healing in the beginning. And this is the part that made me feel like crap because I understood. Like, goddamn. So what he is saying is that each and every last one of us was made in a certain kind of energy. And what that means is, I'm going to give you an example. My mother and my father at the time when my sister, because my sister, she's 36 years old. And my mother suffers from a mental illness. And it's not something that you can just see, because we all of our kids have it, including me. I'm just not sure of what it is. I could have ADHD. I could have ADD. I could even have bipolar. I know it's something mentally unstable with me, but I never been to the hospital about it. I never been diagnosed. So I've been living this way all 41 years of my life. And I really don't know what it could be, but I know it's something different. Because I know I'm not like the average human being. I know it's something there. So my mother was telling me that when my sister was born, that my father at the time was very hatred towards her. He was very jealous towards her because she was moving on. And he was real angry at her because she was able to do that. So one day he assaulted her without her permission. And she got pregnant with my sister. But she didn't get an abortion because that was her husband. But at the end of the day, he assaulted her without her permission. So she wound up getting pregnant, right? And that energy that came, these damn flies, the energy that came from my father was nothing but hatefulness. It was evil. It was the fact that he did not want her to move on. So when he did that to my mother and my sister was born, my sister now has an illness. But what drives this illness in my sister is hatred, is bitterness, is grief. And I'm like, what it is, it's like it's this evil spirit that is hovering over my sister. But whatever it is, it don't like her own family. It's evil, it's bitterness. And I'm like, so when my mother told me that story in the beginning of my awakening, I'm like, oh, but... And I put two and two together. That's the reason why she's like that. Because whatever spirit is in her is evil. It is hateful. And it can't stand her own family. It can't stand my mother. It can't stand me. Whatever spirit that drives her, it don't like her family at all. So I'm like, wow. And when my mother had me, I was born in 82. I was born in November of 82. And my mother's mother died June of 82. So my grandmother died June of 82, and I was born November 82. So already I am born in the energy of grief. I am born in the energy where I need to protect and be with my mother, because I was born to be there to provide and be there for my mother. So now that I was born, throughout my whole life, I got this sense of energy for far as protection. I need to protect my family. I need to be there for my family. I need to love my family. I am the one that is the head of the house that needs to make sure my family is good, because I was brought in that energy to be there, to keep my mother safe, because my mother was in a real deep grief state. So even though I'm 41 years old, I never wanted to become a singer to be rich and to be famous. I wanted to be a singer so I can take my brother and my sister and my mother away from here, and I can protect them, and I can keep them safe, and I can make sure that they are good. I can basically take care of them. And then the environment that me and my mother was raised in, we were the black sheep of the family. So that drove me more to do more for my mother and my brother when he was born, to make sure I get them out of here. But the life that I had, it caused me not to do it the way that I wanted to, because I'm born with a disease. I can't do what I want to do to get my mother out of here, but yet I know I got to. And during your spiritual journey, your intuition and your mind is going to just flow. And now I see why I was born with the sense of protection. Like I was born to take charge. I was born because I was born in that. So try to talk to your mother one day or your father and see what they was going through in their life. See what energy was going around them at life. And then you can probably understand why you was born and why you have the feelings and the emotions that you do that you can't explain.